Appreciate you again being on the show. And right now we welcome Minnesota undefeated amateur lightweight Davionte Young on the Fightlete Report. And Davionte will be making his pro debut at XFC Young Guns 1 against Kwan Walker. And of course, that'll be his professional debut after being undefeated as an amateur. And we appreciate you being on the Fightlete Report. Talk about this opportunity about it, fighting for XFC Young Guns 1 during this time. I'm sure it's been, a challenging time as it has been for us all during the pandemic. When did you find out about this fight, and how excited were you after, training months on end, or, going to sparring, going to practice, but not having an opponent or a face or a name or a date?
Well, first off, I'm very excited, very grateful for XFC for putting on the show and inviting me on. I haven't fought since about a year ago. I think my last fight was a year ago. I really sat down and was like, I need to improve if I want to take this to the next level. So I joined a boxing gym. It's called Work Gym in Golden Valley, Minnesota. Coach Delinko James there. He's magical the way he has perfected my striking damn near. I mean, my footwork. I'm a whole different fighter now. And now I'm with Kaitlyn Young over there at Striking Institute. And she and Ryan Murray are just getting me so crisp and making me understand and fall in love with the striking. So I've been waiting. I've been just sitting and training and just waiting for the opportunities to call. And I think about a month ago, I found out about this fight. I was like, I don't care. Yes. Like, I've been itching. I'm excited. I've been itching for about a year now to get a fight as a pro. So with this pandemic that's been going on, it's been a hard thing. So this has been something very exciting for the last month. I've been just waking up every morning, just with a big smile, just ready to go.
For sure. And, talk also about that, finding out that you were ready to go pro. What made you decide to go pro at this time? And talk about training for the fight, making those adjustments with the pro fight with different rules.
Mm-hmm. So as an amateur, I didn't really have great striking. I come from a wrestling background, so just learned striking in the last 3.5 years. And at first I was very new to it, very okay at it, enough as an amateur to get away with it.
Sure.
But my wrestling experience and wrestling at that higher level gave me that confidence that most people didn't have in a combative sport. So like, you just come from just playing soccer or playing like football. It's a lot different. The mindset's a lot different from somebody coming from wrestling already. Like, I know how to grind out. I know how to cut the weight. I know the intense of it and training of it. So I really transitioned over well for this. And I think as an amateur, that's why I did so well, was because I had that experience most people didn't have. And plus I was in the Marines too for a while. I was in active duty infantry, and that gave me a whole different mindset too, of just toughness too, mental discipline. So I think those two things really gave me edges as an amateur. My decision to go pro, I mean, I beat 2 champs back to back pretty well too. I handled them pretty well. That was without, striking. That's without kind of taking it seriously. And then I sat down and I talked to my girlfriend, and we decided that this is what I want to do. I've been throwing everything into fighting, training. I've been just getting ready for the pros. I'm so excited for the elbows. Those are honestly my most favorite thing I'm excited about, is elbows and knees to the head. So it makes my ground and pounding a lot more dangerous than it is now, including elbows, and my clinch game a lot more dangerous because of elbows. So I'm loving it.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely some changes, as we see from amateur to pro. And, you can throw different kinds of strikes. You can throw those knees and you can throw elbows on the ground. I'm sure like what you've been trained for that right in your head. But once it gets in the cage, it's just going to be like automatic for you, right?
Yep. So I mean, at Striking Institute, Kaitlyn Young, she's very, very good kickboxer, very good Muay Thai, and she's been basically just perfecting my elbows, teaching me the proper power throw elbows, angles, countering off of elbows, using elbows as defensive, as offensive. We practice them and practice elbows in the clinch. Well, we don't throw them obviously 100%, but we'll sit there and flow, just elbow. And it gives me different looks of, going that slower pace. It gives you looks of openings on things to hit those elbows perfectly and crisp. In fights, sometimes things get overzealous and we'll probably miss a shot or something. But I think her teaching me this way has gotten my elbows and got me to understand it correctly than trying to just throw me out there in fast pace.
Definitely. Also talk about your opponent, Kwan Walker. What do you expect from him in this fight? How excited you to take him on? I know he's from Hawaii. I know this is his first professional fight as well, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's his first MMA MMA fight.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a 4-0 amateur kickboxer out of Hawaii. I think he trains in SoCal at RVCA, whatever it's called. He trains with some Bellator pro, trains with some other pro guys. Coming up and fighting MMA is a whole different level. And now you're going to fight a pro MMA for your first MMA fight. So it's a little odd, honestly. It's very odd. I just watched amateur fights this weekend. My girlfriend's little brother fought this weekend down in Iowa, and I was watching them. They make a lot of mistakes. Even the amateurs that had like 7 fights, 6 fights, they made a lot of mistakes. They've been doing fighting for 2-3 years, MMA. This kid's never been in an actual MMA fight. It's a different pace than a kickboxing fight, you know? Sure. So I know he's very long, very tall. He has very fast hands. He got some power with him. MMA is just a different sport, honestly. It's way different than kickboxing. I mean, you can train MMA all day, 100%, you know, not knocking Kwan at all, but you can train MMA 100% every day, but it's totally different in the cage. Yeah. Fighting against someone you don't know, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's going to be an interesting one. I'm excited. You know, I'm honestly super excited for this opportunity, and hopefully we go out there, get that W, and bring that some happiness and loving back home out of this.
Definitely. I mean, you know, when you review a fight with your team, you know, what do you feel were improvements that are needed originally when you went back to your amateur fight?
I think my striking, my stance, you know, I was very flat-footed. I kind of watch my old amateur fights and I laugh, honestly. Right. It's like, oh my God, that was garbage. Like, what the hell was I even thinking? I think that's one thing: footwork, improving my jits, improving my transitioning from my strikes into my wrestling, or transitioning my strikes to counter punches, moving on the ground, submissions. I think honestly everything. I just got pretty much a dump load this year, and it's like I just fall into it. It's just become so natural now that I feel so good. Striking feels good, the jiu-jitsu feels good, my wrestling feels great, and my defense feels amazing too. So I'm very excited. I still got 3 more weeks of training. I'm so excited.
Definitely, yeah. You seem like you're definitely pumped, amped for this fight as well. And you know, like talk about also, you know, a lot of expectations, you know, being undefeated as an amateur. Now you're making your professional debut, and, you know, meeting those expectations. Is that a lot of pressure for you, or?
No, like I said, fighting is honestly, it's come more natural to me than wrestling has. People get the nerves, people get the jitters, people get anxiety. Like, I don't really get that. It's weird. I love it so much. And when they lock that cage, it's like all my anxiety goes away. Everything goes away when they lock that cage and I'm ready to go. I just go in. I'm just take a deep breath, and it's just natural. I just turn into an instinct. It's one of the greatest feelings I've ever had in my life, and it saved so much of my life, honestly. It's turned my life around a lot with my mental health, with things I was going through. Fighting has completely evolved me as a man, as a father, as a boyfriend, as everything, you know. I'm very grateful for fighting, and without it, I don't think I'd be where I was or where I am right now. But the expectations, I think, I'm not too worried about them. You know, they're there, obviously. You know, a lot of people believe in me. A lot of people put a lot of hard work into me. The expectations are there. I see them. I'm grateful for them, honestly. I'm grateful for the people, all their hard work and them believing in me. It's a lot. It is a lot of pressure, but this isn't my first rodeo. You know what I mean? This isn't my first pressure on everything. You know, I've done this in wrestling. I've had the pressure all on me. I've done this, you know, in the Marines. I've done this in fighting already twice. I beat two number 1 guys back to back. Honestly, I just want to go in there and fight. I've been waiting, and I just need to go release the chaos, honestly.
Right. And then next question is, you're a family man, so, you know, talk about stepping in the cage, you know, turning on that switch, and then, you know, afterwards, you know, being a father, being a husband, you know, or, you know, a boyfriend when you're not fighting as well.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, fighting comes with sacrifices. I've had to sacrifice a lot, and people around me have had to sacrifice a lot, and I'm very grateful for that. Our weekends, me and my girlfriend's weekends, are spent literally training all day and hanging out with my son. And then, you know, the weekdays she works, I train during the week too. But then it's our life's pretty much getting consumed by the fighting, but it's not an unhealthy addiction. You know what I mean? It's something that we both believe in, and we both know that whatever I can do, I believe I'm gonna be able to achieve any level I can. So I think that the support and the family and being a dad is honestly amazing. This has turned my fighting, it's turned a new switch. Now I have to go in there with a different mentality. I have to go in there with a mentality to, now I got to provide for something else. This little man's going to look up to me and see me fighting, and I don't have to provide for him. So it's flipped a different switch. Like I said, this last 2 years, 2.5 years, it's almost 3 now. I've really just become such a different person that I'm just falling in love with. I'm just falling in love with myself, falling in love with this fighting, and it's just rolling. It's going lovely.
And then you talk about, who's helped you prepare for the fight. I know you mentioned Kaitlyn Young. Who else you feel has helped you succeed as well?
Yeah, so like obviously, I want to give respect to my old coaches. Tom Schmitz, he was my whole head coach out of Spartan MMA, my whole entire amateur career, and he's really taught me a lot and opened my eyes and made me fall in love more with this game. Pretty much been helping me out is Ryan Murray has been helping me off my strike and making me understand why I'm doing things, and Coach Delinko James over there at Work Gym, he's been perfecting my footwork, strength and conditioning, making my conditioning amazing, my defense, basically pure working on boxing, and I've been doing that for about a year now, and I've really come a long way with him, and I'm totally grateful for them. And plus, Kaitlyn Young, I mean, she has been just upgrading my game, and her belief system in me is what makes everything so much better, because it's like, who else gets to say their head coach is now probably the biggest, pro promotions in the world. She's still fighting, so that gives me another like oomph for this game too, because it's like, yeah, she's still fighting too. So she understands the suck. She understands what I'm going through. She understands the weight. She understands the mental. So it's like we can relate really well on that level. And it's just, I'm very grateful for the coaches I have. Now I'm at M Theory Jiu-Jitsu, and Coach Ishmael is really opening my eyes to a lot of things, especially in the gi that I missed as an amateur, and I missed as training as an amateur, slowing me down and is really making me really think down there and just go with the flow.
Definitely. Yeah, it seems like you are definitely got everything, all your ducks in a row for this one.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
When the world opens up, how much are you looking forward to fighting international competitors as well?
Oh, I'm very excited. I mean, it's just different wrestling too, like going over and wrestling in a national tournament I did once in Japan, and then it's just different. It's nice fighting guys in the United States, all that, but it's different when the person you can't understand what the hell they're saying. You don't understand what their coach is saying, so it's like it adds like a different spin on things. The way they train's a lot different, the way they do things is a lot different. And sometimes it's nice to see that. Sometimes it's like, whoa, makes sense. Like, well, you wouldn't think like, whoa, that makes a lot more sense. Why don't I do it that way? And I think branching outside of the US of fights is what's going to give somebody an extra edge of experience over just somebody who's fought people in the US.
True. And then also talk about what do you use for recovery after each one of your sessions?
So I pretty much train about 3 times a day. I'll go like after my training session, I'll my last one, I'll come home and pack all my stuff, hang it up because it's all soaking wet and smelling disgusting. And then I honestly just go sit in the bath under Epsom salt. I just sit there, practice mindfulness, and I just think about everything that's been going on today. Everything that's been taught to me. I just go through everything again. I just sit there in that bath and let my body just chill. And I get out and I'll go stretch, and I'll go to the gym, go to the sauna, just let all it just decompress out, go on long runs. I like to go on like 5 to 6 mile runs, then just sitting there and biking, stretching. Again, the sauna again. So I'm really taking the time to really take care of my body this time and this weight cut, because I am going down to 145, which is a big weight cut. So I'm really, really eating right. I'm doing everything that I need to do right and correctly to give myself that, oh yeah, you can fucking do this and you can do this at that level, so it's been just learning experience, honestly, from changing from amateur to pro. So it's been great though. It's been great being a sponge.
And you fought for LFA for most of your amateur career. You're looking to fight for them as a pro after this one?
Oh yeah, of course. I would love to fight for LFA. I mean, that's what I wanted to start fighting for as a pro. Obviously it didn't happen. So I mean, XFC, is awesome too.
Yeah.
They're not just some hole in the wall promotion. They're a very big promotion that's worked their ways in this rank for a long time, and I'm very, very proud and excited to fight for them. Especially this is their Young Guns one, I think.
Yeah.
They're doing like a new spin-off of Young Guns. So it's their first one. I'm very excited to be a part of that because that's going to be some history there. I'm excited to hopefully, make some history and show some highlights in this history forever. So
For
kind
sure.
of get cemented.
And my last question is, what can we expect at XFC Young Guns 1 when you take on Kwan Walker?
Woo. This is, I've been asking this, but it's a hard one to answer since we don't want to give away the game plan.
Sure.
But we don't want to give away the game plan, but we're also not going there with a solid, we're going there with the game plan, what to do, what I need to do. We're not going there worried about what he's going to do. We're worried about me and what I'm going to do in there. Obviously, no disrespect to Kwan Walker at all. The kid's done great things as an amateur kickboxer. He's achieved things. We're going in there focused on what I'm going to do because I'm athletic enough to understand. I'm athletic enough to respond and have faster response times, with the slipping and the striking and the wrestling. It's just, you're ready for a high-paced match. That's what I gotta say. You better come conditioned because it's going to be a long time. It's going to be dragged into the water and drowned. So I'm excited.
Definitely. Well, everybody, I want to tell them to check it out. XFC Young Guns 1. It comes at you live from Oklahoma City Convention Center in Shawnee, Oklahoma. And also make sure to check it out streaming as well. I'm not sure if this one's on Fight Pass or not, but wherever it is, we'll put up a link for the interview. Appreciate you, Davionte Young. Best luck with your fight against Kwan Walker, 145-pound professional debut. And if there's anyone you'd like to thank, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to, obviously, thank my girlfriend for all the hard work she's put in, for the hours she's put in, the time. The sacrifice, honestly, she sacrificed so much for my fighting, and I wouldn't be here right now without her, my coaches, my teammates, my son, my family, the support, my management teams, my friends, my sponsors. Like I said, I'm very grateful for everyone in my life, and I want to thank everybody, including my fans, for everything. I would not be anywhere without you guys, and you guys have an awesome day. Thank you so much for having me on.
Definitely. Davionte, best of luck for you. Hope you enjoy this fight and it goes your way. And appreciate you being on the Fightlete Report. And, everybody check it out. XFC Young Guns 1 coming your way March 27th. Make sure to check it out. And we'll have the streaming link for whatever it is. But for course, if you're in Oklahoma City area, you can get tickets as well, I believe.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Anytime. Take care.
See ya.